This is an early morning drive through Virginia City, which was established in 1863 as a territorial capital of Montana, and then 10 years later the capital moved to Helena, Montana. We'll just be pointing out a few of the highlights and then heading up to Boothill. I have provided a lot of links in the description if you want to learn more about the history of Virginia City. It is a very interesting town, and I do recommend checking it out if you're in the area. And now we're turning north at the east end of Wallace Street and heading up to Boothill. And that is where the road agents, 5 road agents, have been buried. But you know, Boothill is a common name for where people were buried in their boots. And this was the first grave site in Virginia City. And although there are only a few marked graves, there are really numerous people that have been buried up here on Boothill. And the main cemetery, which eventually I will do a video just on it because it's very interesting with all the important historical people of Virginia City. It's up here and was built 10 years later. So here we are heading over to Boothill. You will get to see what a beautiful setting for those who are buried, but as I said, it has been developed, and you'll see that there are some homes up here now, but you do get a beautiful view, and I would recommend coming up to this area if you're visiting Virginia City. And you can also see some of the beautiful countryside and get a nice glimpse of Virginia City from a different perspective. So we're going to just turn around here to the left and head on over to Boothill. And here you will see the grave sites of the 5 road agents which were killed. Road agents were the ones who would look for people who were carrying gold and go after it. So the vigilante group was formed in order to put a stop to all of the serious problems they were having during the gold rush. And this kind of just gives you a sense of how it was way back in 1863. It was the wild, wild west. And of course, if you go to Bannack, you'll learn a lot about the history of the road agents and the vigilantes, the road agents led by Plummer. That's for another story. You can see the new developments back there and some of the beautiful scenery past them. So here are the grave markers of the 5 road agents which were hung in that building shown earlier called the HANGMAN'S Building, which is the oldest in Virginia City. Okay, so behind me is Virginia City from Boothill, and I'll show you a little bit more of Boothill and one of the truly unique little things up here. I think this is funny. We have a little tiny thing here going on. Alright, so let me give you little close-ups here. There's the opera. And down in there, in those trees, well, you can't see it, is the artisans. So this is the main drag here. Looking from Boothill. Okay, so this is the road back down into Virginia City, and we'll be going on the street just north of Wallace, so you can see a little bit of the off street, and there's certainly some historic homes in there and some interesting places, which we'll also do another video and explain what a lot of those buildings are. But this is just to kind of give you a quick overview of Virginia City. And there's Lucky. He loves looking at all this stuff and traveling around. He's all wet because he was swimming. In the previous video, you can see that where we were down at the pond and then over to Ruby Reservoir. I'll put a link to it at the end of this video. There's a nice view of the courthouse, and look at the beautiful backdrop in there. Well, this is just a quick little tour of Virginia City at the best time of the year. It's not a fun place in the winter because it's very cold. The weather is quite extreme here, but if you are coming to Montana, I would highly recommend stopping in Virginia City. And then, of course, as you go on down the road toward Alder and Sheridan and Twin Bridges, you will pass through another great town, Nevada City. Click that like button if you enjoy this video, and if you want to see more videos around Montana with Travels with Lucky, please do subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified of our next adventure, Travels with Lucky. Thanks for watching. See you next time.